Welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're so excited to be
and
here.
And Antoinette, Gelmont.
Thank
How do
you
you
for
do?
having us. It's very nice to be here.
My friends, I always see you guys like in the front
Yes.
row. How did you guys all find the Fab Faux? Because I've been a follower for about 15 years. I happened to be at B.B. King's, and Jimmy Vivino was there performing, and someone at the table mentioned about the Fab Faux, and I started following them ever since then, and a few years later, you guys popped up.
I had a similar experience. I was seeing another Beatles cover band at Carnegie Hall, and at the end of the concert, the guys behind me said, if you enjoyed this, you ought to see the Fab Faux. So I looked them up, and I happened to catch them at Bowery Ballroom when they were doing that cavern to rooftop. And it's just the 5 core members, and the first song they did was And Your Bird Can Sing, and I've been hooked. The harmonies were perfect.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Was that the time that Conan O'Brien was there?
He came the second night.
The second
and I
night.
was there the first night. And I know this because I had just started a new job. And the next morning I started to describe what I had seen, and everyone in the office said, oh, you saw the Fab Faux, we're going tonight. Seriously, everyone knew the Fab Faux.
The most memorable show was the one at the Bowery Ballroom, and Conan came in, so it was night two.
That was night two.
Yeah, and
which
Sid Bernstein was there, and I believe May Pang made an appearance, and Max Weinberg came in. But when Conan walked on, the roof blew off. How about you?
Sadly, I missed all that because I'm the person that would never go see a Beatles tribute band. But I have 2 cousins that I call my Shea Stadium cousins because we went to see the Beatles at Shea Stadium together.
Wow, really?
When I was very young, of course. And they love to see this band, 1964. So, and I live on 50th Street, and I was walking by Radio City, and it said the Fab Faux, and I had
the
New York
10-year
One
anniversary.
had done a little snippet on them. I think it was Bud Mishkin. And I saw the sign. I thought, oh, I'll buy these tickets for my cousins. They'll be so happy. So I bought all these tickets, and then nobody could come.
Oh, my.
So I went alone to Radio City. I was like, oh, God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I bought myself a drink, and I sat in, like, you laugh at this, 30th row. And I sat back and looked at my watch. I was like, let's get this over with, you know. And then they came out, and they did the first song, and I said, wait a minute, you know, who are they? Wait a minute. Oh, this is really good. And then by the end of the first song, I was like, wow, these guys are great. I'll have to do this again next year. And so the next year I went to see them at the Beacon, and of course sat in the last row. I bought like 10 tickets, nobody came. And
no one came.
I gave them away. I gave them away to some friends.
They filled the Beacon in Radio City Music Hall.
They were sold out, but nobody I knew could make it. And then they announced they were doing Rubber Soul in New Brunswick. And I thought, New Brunswick? I have to go all the way to New Brunswick for a show. But Rubber Soul was a big part of my awful childhood and awful adolescence. It was, you know, like my best friend for many, many years. And I thought, oh, all the way to New Brunswick for a concert, why would anybody want it? I was like, yes, but it's Rubber Soul, but it's New Brunswick. I said, yes, it's Rubber Soul, it's New Jersey. And I went, and then they said they were going to be in Boston. I thought, oh, well. And I used to live in Boston. I lived in Boston for 10 years. I have a lot of friends that need to see there. And the next thing you know, I said to my husband, you know, we haven't been to San Francisco in a while. And he said, oh, let me guess. And I was like, well, whatever.
The Fab Faux was performing.
So it was like, so I don't know.
That's how it started.
And you go to all of the shows now, don't you?
Yeah, and I've been as far as Liverpool and Bermuda. I think those are my 2 farthest locations.
For you.
Yeah.
I've traveled to D.C. Like every year I go.
That was your first away Fab Faux concert?
Yeah, and I make it an annual event now. I'll go in and do some sightseeing, but it has to be the weekend that the Fab Faux is performing.
Well, it's coming up.
In October,
at the Hamilton,
yes. And I can't decide which show because one night
That's why you have to go to both.
Yes. But we all, you know, grew up with the Beatles music, and I just really enjoy them. And all of them. I met Sid Bernstein, and he was the one that organized the real Beatles to come into town and play at Shea Stadium. And
Arena Rock. Arena Rock. He was credited with establishing that concept.
Yes. The British invasion came through all because of his, you know, crazy idea about having a stadium. But you know how he went to the new school, and they had to read an international paper, and he was reading about the Beatles. And he came, and he was a music promoter, and he thought about bringing them over. And everybody thought he was crazy to fill up Shea Stadium, so he sold the tickets for like $2, $3, and $5. And they ended up putting in $10,000 of his own money for security.
Which
And
at that time was a fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he used to come out all the time to see the Fab Faux.
Yes.
That's the only time I saw him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
College,
I
I
walked
always-
back to his seat. Yeah.
Yes, when I was at the Conan show at the Bowery Ballroom night 2, they mentioned about Conan, and then they flagged Sid Bernstein, and Stephen Van Zandt was there too. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it was an incredible night, and Sid learned about them in West Hampton. Everybody was telling him about seeing this Beatles tribute band, and that's how he found them in West Hampton.
But you know, there is a lot of talk about the Beatles, and of course, I love them because they're so. I love the Fab Faux because they're so good at what they do. But you know what? If they never played another Beatles song, again, I would still go to every show.
Yes,
just love the
because they're
band.
all great musicians, and Will Lee, right? Jimmy Vivino, Rich Pagano, and Frank Agnello, and Jack
Petrozelli.
Thank you. And a shout to their manager too, Rennie Pincus.
Yes.
Right. So.
And then they have wonderful strings and horns.
Yes, Aaron Hill,
Yeah.
who performs the harp, has been a guest on the show, and they also had a double drummer one night. It was Steve Holley, who was the drummer from Paul McCartney and Wings. And
Yeah.
he was just here a couple weeks ago, and you could have knocked me over with the feather.
Well, that's what's so special about the Fab Faux is they bring out guest artists, and I
Yes.
have seen John Sebastian and Dion and Chris Cross, and I mean, you got to see Donnie Harrison when you were in California.
Right.
I mean, they're always surprising us with special guests.
It's really fun. When's your next Fab Faux show?
Well, this summer we have Red Bank.
That's in June.
Red Bank's in June. Boston is a fun show. There's a benefit coming up for the YMCA in Wyckoff in September, which, as I said, that's a benefit.
A lot of concerts
Washington,
in Connecticut,
D.C., Los
this summer.
Angeles in the fall.
Yeah.
It's wonderful that you're able to make so many shows, right? So we want to show, we have some photos to
Okay.
roll in. Thank you, ladies, for sending them over this week. I've enjoyed watching them, going through and editing.